Hello and welcome to the another lecture of Agentic AI and LLM class. So in this class, as I told you, that we are going to show how to create a live dashboard to see the tracing and some other performance metrics, so that we can see that how many token counts and latency and all this thing we can see. Okay, so we'll do that using LangSmith. So first we will go and create our account in LangSmith. Okay, so that's we can create a free account. Okay, and we'll create a new project, set the API key, and then we'll bring that thing to our project. Okay, and then after that, we can see that, okay, when we're talking with our chatbot, and then we can see that in the LangSmith that, okay, how it is going, how we are getting the response, and then which tool has been called and everything, okay? And we can also create the dashboard. So there are inbuilt dashboard based on some performance metrics. You can see that how your chatbot is doing, and then you can also create the custom dashboard. Okay, so with this you can see the live demo, and then you can also see some performance metrics and take the screenshot, and you can also create a report on it if you want. Okay, so we basically will do the tracking and dashboard, okay? But you can also do the evaluation as well, okay? So how your agent is performing, how the LLM is performing. So that's the another thing that you can do, okay? So let's go. Today we'll see the tracing and dashboard creation in LangSmith, okay? So this is the documentation from the LangChain that how to monitor your project with the dashboard, right? So as I said, there are other parts, like you can make the LangSmith as to evaluator. Okay, so you can evaluate your project, evaluate your performance of your agent using LLM as judge, or you can also use some other performance metrics. Okay. So those will be later, okay, later phase of this course. So now we'll just see that the real-time tracing and dashboard, okay? So there are two types of dashboard. One is pre-built dashboard and one is custom dashboard, okay? So I'll show you both. Okay, so let's go, and you can see the try LangSmith button. Just click here. So it's super easy. You can see that I already have two projects created here. So when you come here, first you need to do the sign up. Okay, you can use your Google account to sign up. So in that case, you don't need to create a new account. Otherwise, you just create with your email address. Okay. So after sign up, so if you create this button, it's basically bring you here. Okay, for sign up. So after sign up, you'll be here. So here you see that you can see that get started with tracing, and then you can do the other things, like you can try their playground, and then you can also do the experiment, like evaluation and all these things, right? So we'll do the tracing. So let's go here, and then you can see that when you do the tracing, there are two different languages. One is Python and the TypeScript. So we are using Python, and then we'll use the UV. Okay, so because we are using UV package manager, so that's we will select. The other thing is that you see that the default is the Claude Agent SDK. Um, since that's we need to pay, right, for the subscription. So I will just use the Grok with the free LLM. So I'll just select the LangChain. Okay, you can see that you can use the other agent like OpenAI agent, and then Deep is in Google Gemini. Okay, so based on your subscription, you can choose. So we'll use the LangChain. So in that case, we can choose our model. Okay, it's not that we need to choose based on what is available here. Okay, so we can do the LangChain or deep agent. So since we did not introduce the deep agent yet, so we'll do the LangChain. We can also do the LangGraph as well, you see. So I'll do the LangChain. Now, what is we need to do is basically we need to just install the LangChain and then LangChain OpenAI. So these things are already we have installed previously, okay? And this is inside the requirement.txt file in my GitHub repository. So I'll also give you the link that requirement.txt, okay? Now, basically, this is the thing that you need. Okay, so there are configure, you can do the shell. So in the shell, we'll not use the shell because we will use the .env file. So that's super easy. You basically just need to copy this part. Okay, so if the LangSmith tracing is true, LangSmith endpoint is this one, and your API key and your project name. Okay, and the OpenAI API key you need if you are going to use the OpenAI. Okay, and then you can do a run, like you can create the tool which you already did it, and then you can create the agent and call the agent. Okay, so basically we need just this part, okay, because we already have this part. So you need to create the API key, right? So if I just click here, generate the API key. So this is basically my API key has been created. Okay, so and then you need to create your own API key, okay? And then you just need to copy and then bring this thing to your project. So we have the .env file, right? So if I just open the .env file, so you see that I already pasted this longsmith tracing, this, an API key, and then project. So we can create a separate project for this lecture. So, okay, let's create this one as okay, what is the project name we want to give? Let's say that a tracing demo, tracing demo. Okay, so that's my tracing demo projects. It should create the project automatically to my LangSmith. Okay, so when you going to load this .env file. And we have this code already, right? So we have a load.env, right? So we are loading the .env. So whatever the environment is, it's all we already loading in this in this file. Okay. So our project will be created with this name. When you start tracing, start running this one. Okay, so we are going to use this file. This is our latest file that's we used in our previous class, which is agent with middleware, right? So this is personally identifiable middleware, and then we also use some fallback middleware. So we have the primary model is the graph llama model from graph, and then we have the GPT nano and mini model. So that's my first fallback model, and this is my second fallback model, right? And then we created the tool, the gateway the tool. So this is basically we have already done. Okay, I'm not going to discuss again. So if you are new or starting new in this video, you need to go back and watch those previous videos. Okay, now this is for internet search. We use the Tavily search tool, and then we also have the duckduckgo search tool. Okay, so this is our agent, and in the agent, so we create a summarization middleware so that we don't hit our context window size of our used model, LLM model, very quickly. So that's why we use the summarization middleware. And then fallback middleware is basically to if the first model is not available or you limit to the context window site anyhow or rate limit for that day, you can go back to fallback one and then fallback two, okay? And then we also showed you that some personally identifiable middleware that how you can redact or how you can mask the sensitive information like email, credit card, or API key, right? So that's we have seen. Now, I'm not going to add anything new here, okay? That's the interesting part, okay? I don't need to write anything. It's just the .env file, we just add something, okay? So which is we got from the LangSmith, okay? So we just go to the LangSmith and then we just select that LangChain environment, the Python language, and then UV, and then .env, and then we get this code, and then just you need to copy this, and then you just need to paste in here. Okay. After that, you just need to load, make sure that you have the load underscore .env function, right? Which is basically make sure that those environment setting has been loaded to this file. Now I am going to do some chat with my chatbot, and then I'll see that what it goes to our LangSmith environment. Okay, so let's say that we have this one agent with PIM. Okay, so we run it. So we write ev run agent with okay, and then it is asking me what's your query. It should. So waiting for run. We are using Llama model, the free model, right? So that's why. Okay, so it's ready. What is your query? I said, hi there. Um, how are you today? We know that this is a dumb question to ask to a chatbot, but let's say that, hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for, so I don't have emotions or feelings, right? Okay, so we can try our, some tools that we have. Like, let's say that we have the weather tools, so right? Weather in Peoria. Okay. So if I say weather in Peoria, and then you say that current weather in Peoria is mostly cloudy, right? And then let's say that we ask again weather in New York, New York City. Okay. And then it's also giving me New York City weather. And then if I want to, now we can go for our internet search, which is, it should be Tavily search because that is the order. And that is the prompt that we said, right? We said that, okay, go to the Tavily search and then, all right? So say, what is your query? Okay, so I'll say, what is the top political news today in USA? And so this basically need to go to the internet search, right? The search for new Senate nominee for South Carolina Senate, you know that. And then, so yeah, so okay, let's go for another internet search, like when will be the final match of the soccer uh, World Cup 2026. Let's see that whether he can give 2026. Okay. So he needs to go to the, the internet search and need to get the raw information, and then from that he need to make the answer, and then should print in here. So you see that this one is very specific, and then so that's why it is taking some time. And then this also, as I said, this is the Llama model, and is a free weight model, so it will need some time. Okay, will be July 19, 2003 p.m. ET. Okay, that means he's giving me the right information, right? English and Fox. Okay, so now let's say that we search again. So we'll say what is AI versus NLP. Okay, so this basically he should not use any tool. So it should be quick, right? Since I don't know whether he will go for tool search, but we can see in the, we could always print from the metadata information from here, but we can also show you that using the LangSmith, you can also get this information that how the information is coming, through our agent. Okay, so it seems that he is basically going for the internet search. Otherwise, he should not take that much time. Right. So you can also see that what is the latency for all this thing, right? How much latency it will take for giving us the answer. Okay. I think that another reason could be that maybe it is a big answer. And that's why it's taking time. Yeah, as I said. So this is basically, yeah, he gave me a big answer. Okay, so we can also generate the stream outputs. In that case, it would be faster. But since we want to show everything at the same time, so that's why it took some time. Okay, we can also see the performance metrics like when the the first token was generated and when the last token was generated. Okay, so now let's see that we have some tracing, right? So let's see that this footprint to our LangSmith. Okay, so let's go to our LangSmith, which is in here. um, so if you go here, all applications, and select all applications. Okay, so make sure that you select all application. Okay, and then let's refresh it to see that the one that we created is here. Okay. Sometimes it just takes some time to bring. Okay. Now let's see that we have the tracing. Yeah, so here is our tracing demo, right? It's here. Okay. Now, if I click the tracing demo, and then it shows that, okay, these are the things that we did, right? So this is the high, right? So if I select this one, it shows that, okay, so this is the FIFA World Cup final date, and then he basically need to, get some internet search, and then he got so many. So that's why it was delayed, right? Because he got so many raw information and they need to process. And then this is the AI give me. So the other one was like, this is the what is AI versus NLP, and then you see that he went for the internet search, Tavily search. So that's why it's also was a long delayed, right, for this one. And then uh, okay, see. This is the weather, right? So when you said weather in Peoria, and then it went to the get weather tool, right? And he got the raw information and then give me the answer in here, right? So if I see this one about this is another tool call, right? You see that get weather tool call, which we have in here. We have the get weather tool call, and this one get weather. So this one our agent is. Okay, so and then top political news, so this went to the Tavily search, and then final match. So you see that these are the 6 call we made, right? So if I do another one, let's say that I write, okay, where is Bradley University? Okay, so if I just write this one, I think it's taking time, so it's went for the search, internet search. Okay, so if I use the GPT model, you'll see that is a completely different performance. Okay, GPT model is much better than the Llama model. We all know that. Um, but I'm just not using that one to save some tokens and yeah, not try to pay. And if you are you're also using the free model, so you can also follow me. Okay, Bradley University is located in here, so we got this right. Now let's see that in here. If I refresh, it should be okay. Do I need to come back? Uh, okay, so here the number 7 is here. Okay, where is Bradley University? And see that it went to the table search. That's why, when he is going to use the tools, and then it takes time. So we can see that, okay, what are the times, right? So this is basically the tracing, right? Now we can see the monitoring. Okay, so monitoring for, okay, let's see that monitor, okay, pre-built. Okay, let's select the pre-built because we did not create our new project. Okay, so if you select the pre-built, then I can see that this project, right? So this is our project name. If you see that .env file, we created this one. The project name is tracing demo. So this is the what is created, right? So we only can see in pre-built, not in the custom, because the custom is basically we need to create our own. Okay, so now just see the pre-built. Okay, so pre-built, you can see that. Okay, so it shows that which one you want to see, last 1 hour, last 3 hours. Let's say that just last 1 hour, and it says the trace count. Okay, so how many number of turns have been used, right? And then this is the success and the error. Okay, so it seems that we don't have any error, right? And then this is the latency. So it seems that um, so our lower value for, so if you want to understand that P50 and P99 is basically in terms of latency, is that the latency for median value, right? So that means that 50% of the request, that came at time like 1 second time. But if you go for 99% of the request when successful, it's almost the same. But if you see that here, P50 and P99, so there's no much difference. It's almost the same, okay? Uh, Trace error rate is basically no error. LLM counts. So if you see that LLM counts, um, okay, number of LLM calls over time, and then this is the LLM latency, okay, and okay, so this is for P50 and P99, right? So we have two thing here. Okay. So we can see the latency. So it's basically at what time that is latency happen, right? So that's the thing in here. And then token cost. Okay, what is the token cost in here? Although I use the free tier, so it's probably should be 0 for me, but he just estimated based on how much time we have used. And then this is the cost per trace, okay? And then the output token, okay? So this is the output token, that how many total tokens we have used. Output token per trace. So this is basically the per trace. So y-axis is basically the time, and x-axis is the time, and then y-axis is different performance metric. And this is the input tokens, that how many input tokens that we have sent, okay, based on the time, and per trace, what is the average token input tokens, right? And run count by tool. So we have Tavily search, okay, and then we have gateway there. Okay, so this is the gateway there. We can see Tavily search, and then so it's basically by tool that, okay, which one use which tool. Latency by tool. So you see that when it goes for the tool call, is basically is higher, right? The latency. Uh, okay, so this one is the run count. So how many run? Okay, let's see that for this one. When we went for this run, so how many tool we have used, right? And then middleware we have used. So it shows this, okay? So it's basically for every time it try to check whether we use the email or credit card or API key, right? So it try to check it. So these are basically the performance metrics. That's the pre-build. So it's a lot of them, right? And now if you want to say that, okay, how I can create a custom dashboard, okay? So let's say that if you want to create a custom dashboard from our data set, okay? So custom data set, we need to create it. So let's say create a dashboard. And then let's say that tracing demo dashboard. Okay. And then we can create we can give the same application name. Okay. Now we can see that, okay, which projects we want to select. We can also select multiple projects. So let's say that just select one project, the project that we want to see. And then this is the filter that is trace was true. Yes, obviously. And then we can add performance metrics. So let's say that run count, if you want to see the run count. Um, and then okay, edit project animatrix. Okay. So please select a metric. Let's see that last 1 hour. So this is basically one latency, right? We create, okay? And then if you want to see that bar chart, and then it shows that the bar chart the for latency. Okay, so let's create this one. And it basically shows, okay, so we can select is this one and then make this one as default, okay? So this is basically shows that the latency. So that's our dashboard, okay? From our project, the project that I just created for you, okay? And then it shows that latency for this time, okay? You can also do by changing the model and see that, okay, if you want to see that which model is giving better performance, so you can do it, right? Uh, this one, let's if I want to use the model is the uh, fallback one, which is my GPT model, right? Um, okay, so we can just use this one. Just I'm just showing you. I don't need to do that. So said instead of llama model, you can just use this model, okay? As your main model, okay? Llama um, fallback model, okay? So this is basically the GPT model, okay? So then you can see that what is the performance, okay? So since this is just for the demo, so I just use one model, but you can also use whatever the model you want to see the performance of that, okay? So this is the one chart, right? If you want to see that the other chart you want to create from your project, say, okay, so output tokens. So if you want to see the total tokens, that how much tokens that we have used, and this is just for last 1 hour. And if you want to see that the bar chart, then you can see that what was the total token that you used during this time period. Okay, so let's say that if you want to create this, and also you can give a custom name. Okay, so you can write the total token uses. Okay, and then create it. So now you see that you have this chart and this chart. Okay, so we did not give a title here, so but no worries, you can anytime you can go and edit. Okay, so you can write so this one is basically the latency per trace. Okay, save it, and then now you can see that this is the latency curve and this is the token curve. And now you can just, if you want to, you can show the live demo from here, or if you want to use it for your PowerPoint presentation or slides, you can just take a snapshot of it. Unfortunately, you cannot just copy paste from here, okay? And so that's it's not in there. I tried, and there is no option you can export, okay? But you can just save it as a PDF, or you can just take the snapshot if you need this figure, okay, for your research article or anything. But I showed you that how you can create the live dashboard and then connect your projects, okay? And then you can see the tracing, and then tracing basically shows you the whatever the call you have make, and then it also break down that whether it needs the tool use and which tool to use, and then you can also see some so the entire project, right? So if you see that so these are the columns, right? So there are multiple columns here. So you can see that error rate for our this project, right? And then average for 50% request latency, 90 to 9% request latency went high because some of the requests which need the internet search or weather tool, it has the high latency. Okay, the total token that we have used, and then total cost incurred for this trace. Okay, so these are some performance metrics that you can see. But as I said, that you can also do the other things, like you can use the evaluator. Okay, so you can use this one as an evaluator. You can write LLM as a judge evaluator. So for that, you need to write the rubrics. You need to create a data set, the golden data set or base data set, so that it will have the question and answer, and so that the model can judge, right? So that's for some specific performance metrics, like if you want to see that how accurate the result is. So then you need the base or called golden, right, or standard level data set, right? So that's basically one way to do that using some performance metric. The other one is that open-ended one that you can use LLM as a judge. That one you need the rubrics. Okay, so those are the things we'll do later. Okay, so right now we are the stage that I just wanted to show you the tracing and monitoring, because maybe in the future lecture videos, I need to use the LangSmith. So I'll just give you some introduction with the LangSmith, that we don't need to print so many log files at our end. But if you can connect this one to the LangSmith, and then we can see from here. Okay. So in a nutshell, you see that in terms of VS Code, we didn't do too much. We just need to create the environment, okay? And then to get the environment, we need to first go to the LangSmith. You need to sign up if you don't have the LangSmith account. And then you need to create the API key, which is the free API key. You can get it. And then you can create the environment, okay? So how you can create the environment is basically if you go to um, let's say that LangSmith, from here you can also come, okay? So LangSmith, if you click the LangSmith, and then this is the starting one, get starting with tracing, okay? So if you, and then you select the LangChain environment, and then you, so if you need to install this one, and then this is the .env, and we just copy this part, okay? And then you need to generate the API key, if you generate the API key from here, okay? So that's it, right? So we just copy and paste this one .env file, and then we just run it. And then already a new project is created, right? For us, which is, if you see in the tracing that, okay, this is the tracing is created for the projects. And then also we can see the monitoring. By default, it will be for pre-built, but we can also create our custom one and then link to the specific project. Okay. So that's it for this lecture video. And then in the next lecture, we will see the LangGraph, which is basically more fine tuning we can do about the agent decision making. Okay, so that will be our next lecture video. So thank you very much, and please subscribe so that you can get the notification of the future uploads. Thank you very much, and have a good one. Bye.